Thank you, sir. At least a ray of hope from Your Excellency that the two sides they are talking to each other. My question is that given non-state actors or the proxies or certain fractured elements of some states, they are throwing projectiles inside Saudi Arabia on the oil installations or elsewhere. Uh, then Kuwait defense pact that you welcomed yesterday, and with Bahrain or Jordan, we have a robust defense cooperation. So how Pakistan obligation is enhanced given the security threats to particularly Saudi Arabia under the strategic defense cooperation agreements?
As I said, we will implement all our defense cooperation agreements, not just with Saudi Arabia, but with all our Gulf partners. You saw the Pakistan-Kuwait defense agreement. There could be other there are other agreement. There are similar agreements with the nature of Pakistan-Kuwait agreements with maybe with some other Gulf partners as well. So we will fulfill all our obligations. And Pakistan defense sector already provides considerable training, joint exercises, dialogues with relevant armed forces of these countries. So we will fulfill our obligations. But these defense agreement does not mean that there has to be a war and then these have to be activated. The substance of these agreement is geared towards the peacetime cooperation. And when war takes place, obviously the two sides, when they have to then see how far these agreements are to be implemented, will be seen. So on this, I think we should avoid any speculative mindset as to what would happen in the future, paint particular doomsday scenarios, and then ask questions on what will happen on a given doomsday. So we in diplomacy precisely avoid doomsday scenarios, and as such, the focus of these defense cooperation agreements is a robust defense military to military cooperation during peace times in order to avoid war and avoid the particular doomsday which seems to have been captured the imagination of our journalist friends when asking these questions. Thank you. पूछ ले शाह साहब आप.
So you've rightly pointed out about the doomsday scenario, which journalists we often paint, but the objective of this is for having a better strategy. In this context, what Pracha Saab has said, we are mediators. We have a neutral role, and being mediators, we also have defense agreements with some of the key players who are taking part in this conflict. So many people are raising questions and concerns at a time when we are, mediator. We are having defense agreements with the countries which are, in one way or the other, they are part of this conflict. So, are we confident that our role as a mediator will not be compromised, whatever defense agreements we make or we plan to make?
Uh, First, very simple answer. Mediation and defense cooperation are not mutually contradictory. So when we say that we are the mediators and we have a defense cooperation agreement, the two roles do not uh, cross-cut each other. So no, sir, our role as mediator is not compromised by the fact that we have defense agreement, and the defense agreement in no way cuts down our role as mediator. The two operates in their own streams, and I think you should have enough confidence on Pakistan's diplomacy of the ministry, the military diplomacy, the and all government institutions led by the Prime Minister to take into account all these nuances. You are basically, as Asaf, you're talking of nuances. So we take account all these nuances as we go forward, and under the leadership of the Prime Minister, the Chief of Defense Forces, our own Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, this ministry, and all other relevant institutions are fully geared to take into account all these nuances that you have mentioned, and we can play our role smoothly with all that we have, that all wherewithal that that the state of Pakistan possesses.